going to post this in the group. That way everybody can learn from it. But your question in the Facebook group was about job description and duties and how to hire somebody to be a social media manager, but also like a local marketing person, right?
Right. Pretty much like, we have checklists for every area of the store. Well, a checklist for a social media marketer, I guess.
Okay. Well, cool. So I think I want to make sure I understood this. I'm going to share my screen, walk you through a few things.
Okay.
Let me know if you can see it okay when I get it open.
Yep, I can see it.
Okay. So I'll walk you through a few things. This is what we created a while back for this exact position. So we had a client of ours, gosh, actually you might know, Quaker Steak and Lube. It's Sharon, Pennsylvania. So
yeah,
a friend of mine owns a couple down here. And a while back, they had a job that they wanted to hire for. They called a local marketing manager. And they just basically released him on the street and said, hey, go do this. A month later, they wanted to fire him. Like, well, why do you want to fire him? Like, well, they didn't do anything. Like, how do you know? And so I created a checklist back in the day, and we've refined it as we've grown our company. Now we tie this in with more stuff that we do. So it's relevant nowadays with the podcast and what I write for PMQ. But the idea behind it is to give them a very simple equation. I'll share this article also, but I've got a couple articles I'll include with this when I send this over an email. That I write an article with PMQ every week. And this was one that I put in here. Like, I like being simple. It's real easy to get complicated with social media that, I got to do 50 things a week and I got to put it 50 places. I called this the 3-2-1 strategy. And it was just how to simplify your marketing, that you should have 3 things you focus on marketing your restaurant, in my opinion: Facebook, email, and text. Those are the 3 most popular places people spend time. And then there's 2 types of content: storytelling and offer. Like for me, your uniqueness is that you're Rochelle, you've got those 2 restaurants, you're in the 4 walls. I know a guy that owns 100 restaurants that doesn't walk in his 4 walls. So there's no story about his impact in the community. He's just printing checks. So in your world, you're involved in the community. So like that storytelling is an important aspect to separate you from the Papa John's down the street or whatever brand is down there. And then of course, making offers. As far as that's a huge aspect, and you've got that with driver loyalty and other things, but getting people to take action. And then down here, it's like 1 post, 1 time, Facebook post 1 time a day, email once per week, texting once per month. And the reason I've got it like that is that texting is intrusive. People don't want to be bugged with text. Like the only people that text me are people I'm friends with, my wife and kids. And so if your restaurant lands in next to them, my texting, it better be important. It better not be, hey, the NBA games tonight, come see us. Like, well, okay, that's pretty generic. Better be, here's a bribe. But the social media post is really important, but also having focus on it. So I'll send you some links with articles. But here's a guide that we had put together, and I'll send you a PDF of this. And we made it in black and white because originally it was color. And everybody's like, Matt, this kills my printer. Because I tell print them off. Print these off 4 at a time, give them to the person, and come up with a pretty simple strategy. Okay, every Monday, make a Facebook post, and this also is relevant to Instagram, TikTok, wherever, but make a post about our menu. What is something different? What is something on the menu they might not know? I have clients of mine, they let their employees have a little fun with video, their own favorite pizzas. Hey, I'm Matt. I work at the Franklin Fox's Den. This is my favorite go-to pizza: bacon, pepperoni, banana peppers, like throwing stuff on it. And it's just highlighting the menu because you are a restaurant. You want people to see some stuff and maybe have an engagement. The second one is a question. One of the greatest things you can do on Facebook is ask a question. Now, one of our friends of ours did this a while back, which I don't recommend this one, but the day before the election, he posted, who you voting for tomorrow? So Trump or Kamala? And I'm like, and he didn't put a side, but it got like 900 comments. And so I tend to go the other way, like pineapple and pizza, yay or nay, blue cheese or ranch with your buffalo wings. Like there is easily 52 topics. And I've also got a article for PMQ where I gave 52 topics that you could ask a question. And people love that, especially the pineapple and pizza type questions. Like, there's always somebody that hates pineapples, there's always somebody that loves it. And so the whole concept of social media is getting people to comment, to engage. The next is an offer. One of the things that, obviously the driver loyalty has offers in there, but something we have a lot of clients have success with, they'll get on Facebook and say, hey, it's Wednesday, it's hump day. 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., walk in, show your phone, and get XYZ. Have something very limited, very strict that can't be fraud, that they can't come all the time, can't screenshot it. Like it's only for that Wednesday. A contest are awesome. Like one that we had recently, a friend of mine did, that's a client, a box with a bunch of pepperonis in it. Had his branded box, had pepperonis, like $25 gift card. Comment below how many pepperonis are in the box. He had like 800 comments on a Facebook post. His post the week before got one. And so people love to guess. And the one thing I've learned, and this is funny, this happened with Quaker Steak and Lube, is the smaller the prize, the better. We gave away wings for free and it flopped. And I ended up surveying the customers and they were like, we thought it was fake because they were like, wings for free for a year is a big prize. When I did a $10 gift card, people flocked to it. And so the smaller the contest, the more believable, plus obviously more digestible for you. So you can give away a $10 gift card or a free pizza once a week for the person that wins you randomly pick. And then community, something I think we miss a lot. Like, what do people typically think when the weekends come up? Like, is there a festival? Like you got the Apple Festival up in Franklin. Is there a festival this weekend? Is there something happening at the local church? Is there a high school football game? Like, it's a great way to promote the community. And I left Saturday and Sunday off because, as much as you and I work every day of the week, I recognize that a lot of people don't. So I'm like, you know what? Here's your 5 days a week. Have a break. And then on the bottom part down here, so over here, the idea is to write the topic out. So I recommend that if you're going to hire somebody, that have a meeting with them. Wednesday, let's see your planner for next week and let's see your planner for last week. And because they're going to keep stats on this. So next week, hey, the topic for Monday, me and Darren are doing the wedgie challenge. We're going to make our own wedgie and compare the ingredients. We're going to do a video with it. Tuesday, we're going to do a question. We're going to have a pizza with pineapple on one side and not on the other side and ask questions. So plan it out. Because what happens with social media is the minute you get on it, you get distracted. And so if you as a social media manager get on there and you go to make a post, next thing you know, you're watching a funny cat video and you forget to make a post. And so have that topic ahead of time, make sure it makes sense, because that's the one thing with being an owner of a restaurant. You got employees that what you and I might take as obvious, might not be obvious to them. I saw one time where somebody posted something and I'm like, okay, that is a good question to get an answer, but I don't think you wanted the answer of either side, kind of like the political one. So, planning those things out and knowing what you're going to do. And plus, if there's an offer involved, you want the team to know. A lot of our clients on the question and the contest and the offer, they'll know those the week before. And so they'll have printed off at the restaurant. Hey guys, don't forget this Tuesday, we're doing pineapple and pizza question. When people come in, make sure to tell them to go to Facebook and comment. We're going to give away a prize. And the same with the contest and same with the offer. Hey, by the way, this Wednesday, we're having this Facebook post that's going to go up at 1:00. It's good from 1 to 5 o'clock. And it's this only. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And down on the bottom here is video. So up top, video is always going to win when it comes to certain aspects. Facebook and Instagram are built for video. And that's why over here I've got Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube. I mean, it costs you nothing to make a post on those platforms. So if you have a Facebook page, an Instagram, a TikTok, a LinkedIn, and a YouTube, probably wouldn't need, but in your situation, but a LinkedIn one, I mean, businesses around your community probably cater pizza orders all the time, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So business decision makers are on LinkedIn for different reasons. If you got a social media manager, have a page for the restaurant and it costs nothing to post on it. So the video that you might do on Monday, talk about the menu, the 1 minute video shot on an iPhone, they take it, they post it on Facebook, check the box. They post it on Instagram, check the box. They put it on TikTok. It's simple. It goes across. But I put down here topics too, because what the 3 most popular things people should talk about in video is you and the business, is your team, and is your food. And that's why people are eating with you. Like I had never heard of a wedgie until I met Fox's. And I jokingly told one of my employees, I went to Fox's and Adam gave me a wedgie. And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, he gave me a wedgie. And he thought a legit wedgie. So we had fun with it. But I'm sure there's people that are moving into your area and they're new to the community that don't know what Fox's offers. So there's bound to be something. But if you're going to do videos each week, those are good topics on there. Food, what's your, like an example, best-selling food item, team, who's the longest tenured employee, who went to high school locally. Make people know that the people in the restaurant they're supporting. We saw that big in COVID. when COVID hit, the restaurants that we worked with that had the best impact, had the best sales, were the ones that were consistently talking to the community on social media, and people had a connection. Like, everybody loves to know the owner. Like, I can promise you, there's people that walk in your restaurant and are like, oh, hey, that's Rochelle. She's the owner. And like, it's cool. Most people don't know that. And so like, they see you on social, they know who you are. Same with your employees. That's a good one. And then talking about the business. Why did you choose to do a Fox's? Why did you choose Franklin? Why did you choose pizza? How long have you been in business? What's the funniest thing that's happened? Like, we had our boat dealership. I tell the stories that, one of our employees drove a camper through the front window of our dealership one time. No clue why. Like, he shouldn't have been up there. He did. He was moving something. Here comes an Airstream camper right through the front of the dealership. And so it's like, people have it's reality TV. So any questions on this so far?
Not so far. Nope.
And I know I'm probably talking fast. I apologize. I get excited about this stuff.
That's fine. I usually listen to videos on double speed.
There we go. Keep up. The last page, this is a 2-pager. And I made this as simple as possible because I typically would overload people. And this was actually 6 pages early on. And then a client kept saying, hey, Matt, I know that you would monitor 6 pages of crap. My 25-year-old daughter is not. And so we got down to 2 pages. The first page is your plan of action. What are you going to do this week? And did you do it? And what are some notes? And the back page is, okay, how big is your text list? How big is your email list? How big is your birthday? And so basically it's like left side is what it is. Right sides are what it was, what it is. And so they consistently are worried about growing the list. Like within the $10 program, we have some Fox's locations that grow by 50 a month. We have some that grow by 500. And it's all down to the employees and the restaurants asking the question. You can still see the back page here, right?
Yes, I can.
I've been doing these videos before, not sharing my screen, and people chime in 10 minutes later. But the idea here is that what gets measured gets managed. Is what the quote says at the top, that if you have 100 people on your text list or email list or your birthday list, and 6 months later you have 100, well, guess what? It's because you didn't pay attention to it. So these top things are things that they can measure and manage. And then the bottom part, website visitors probably going to be anything with you guys, but Facebook comments. How many Facebook comments did your post get last week? Oh, I got 10. What did you get this week? I got 20. Cool. Okay, let's get 22 next week. How many likes, comments, and shares? How many video views? And that's a big one too, the video views. And I was telling a guy this the other day. He's like, Matt, I'm frustrated with doing videos for my page. I've been doing it for 6 months. I know you tell me to do it, and I think I'm getting good. He's like, but I only get like 200 to 300 people that watch my videos. I said, so let me ask you a question. You had 5 videos last week. Yeah, and you had 100 people watch each. Yeah, 500. You're telling me you wouldn't like 500 people to walk in your restaurant? And he stopped. And I said, I want you to picture when you think about creating a video. My first ever video, and this is funny because it's in Pittsburgh, was at Hofbrauhaus, Pittsburgh, was my first ever live video that I did for my personal marketing company, 10 years ago or so. Nervous as hell, hated it, despised being on camera, hated what I looked like, what I sounded like, all that crap. But I remember when I did the video, nobody was watching. And then my mom eventually tuned in. And I'm like, oh, shit, I got one person. And a buddy of mine told me, he's like, I want you to picture stadiums. That if you were to be standing inside your restaurant, inside my office here, and 100 restaurant owners walked in, would you be disappointed? I'm like, well, hell no, I'd love life. But why would you be disappointed if 100 watched you? And it's like, think about stadiums. Like a high school arena is 1,000 people. So if you can get 1,000 people a week to watch your videos, to engage in your content, you just filled up a high school basketball arena. And then if on a month you get 10,000, you just filled up, a college, small college. You get 100,000, you filled up the Penn State University. And so it's kind of like we all get caught because people want to be viral and they want to have 1 million views. Like I had a video got 10 million views a couple years ago, and one of my editors was all excited. And the next week he was disappointed when we got 2,500 views. I said, Peter, if anybody besides my mom is watching, I'm in good place. So if I got my mom and one person, we won. I'm like, 10 million views is great, but so is 2,500. And so making sure they're monitoring that. This is a good way you can judge it, that if you're sitting there, like I always recommend like a midweek meeting, because you can look at last week and plan the next week. And if you're planning next week's content on Friday, you might be too late for stuff. So if you sit on a Wednesday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and say, okay, let's look at this sheet from last week and let's look at next week's. And then down here's the notes. I have my podcast, which you've listened to. I have my articles at PMQ Magazine. I encourage people to read. Whenever I interview people, no matter who they are, what are you listening to? What are you watching? What are you reading? If you're not trying to improve yourself, you're not going to improve it. And then also their notes from the meeting with you, that what happened this week? What can I learn? What can I do better? What some ideas? And the cool part is you could do this 13 weeks in a row and then just repeat it, because people typically only see 2 to 5% of your content. And so if you do pineapple and pizza on January 1st and you turn around and do it April 1st, most people, number one, didn't see the original. Number two, they don't remember you did it. And number three, if they remember, they're not going to be offended that you made the same post from 3 months ago. And so when you do these, when they make these notes at the end of the week, they come back and be like, oh my gosh, that post crushed it. Definitely redo that. So when they come back to the next time, they look at their sheet look at their past sheets, and they just redo some of the content that did well.
That makes sense.
So that's my advice. Have you used ChatGPT at all much?
I have not.
Okay. So I'm going to give you a quick little thing here, because this is a good tool to use. And there's free versions, chatgpt.com. You can create a free account. You can get a $20 account. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do. But this is something that can help you with probably anything you could ever imagine. So can you see my screen where it says context, role, interview, task?
Yep.
So if you use ChatGPT, this is how you use it. So if I was to go to ChatGPT and I was to say, context, I'm looking to hire a social media manager for my 2 pizza restaurants, acting as Matt Plapp, my marketing coach. The task is, the context is I'm looking to hire somebody, what you asked in Facebook. The role is you tell it who to be. And what's crazy is this shit knows everybody. Like my dad is 78, and I loaded up a transcript of one of my salespeople and said, hey, what did Trevor do right or wrong here? Acting as Dwayne Plapp, give me advice for what he could fix in this. It was a transcript from an hour video call. The day before, I asked my dad what the top 3 things Trevor did right and did wrong. The ChatGPT gave me 2 of the exact answers my dad gave. I was like, geez, well, that's crazy. So, and what it's learning off everything that's ever been published. So you can see on here, acting as my marketing coach, Matt Plapp, and the next part is interview. And this is a key part. A lot of people will just ask for a question or ask for an answer. This you say, ask me 5 questions, 1 at a time. What you need to know from me to help me create this job. So when you do this, the reason it's key to put that, so I've got on there the context of what I'm doing, the role of who I want you to be, the interview, ask me 5 questions 1 at a time, and the task, what you want it to do. The reason the questions is important is you want them to interview you, because Rochelle, you're the expert on your restaurant and what you want to hire for, right?
Yes.
So in that case, it's going to ask you a question. And the reason you do 1 at a time is if you tell it to ask you 5 questions, it's going to ask you 5 questions all at one time. And what happens is now you are answering 5 questions at once, and the questions don't piggyback off each other. Where in this case, when they ask me this first question and I answer it, then it's going to ask me a question based on my answer. And so the questions daisy chain, and sometimes 5 questions will turn to 10 because it'll go, okay, follow-up question. Why is it important? And so this is a key element, and I encourage this. I have probably 3 to 4 hours of meetings a week with ChatGPT, where I upload a lot of data. You can see on the left, I've got what's called digital MP over here. I've trained a bot that is digital me, and it acts as my thought partner, because running my company, there's like running your restaurant, it's hard as shit. There's nobody that we can talk to that understands what we're talking about. And so it's lonely as can be. I can't tell you how many times I've been driving somewhere. I was telling my daughter, I'm like, Paige, I bet once a quarter I'm driving somewhere. I got tears in my eyes because I'm trying to figure what the hell, how to fix it. So ChatGPT has become kind of my thought partner where I'll ask it, I'll do this exact thing. Here's the context of what I'm trying to do. Here's who I need you to act as. And I need you to ask me 5 questions one at a time to help me do this. And it'll ask questions. You're like this one. What are your main goals you want with the social media manager to accomplish the next 90 days? Oh, man, I'd love to get our social media page engagement up. I'd love to see foot traffic at the restaurant. I'd like to see 100 people join our $10. I'd like to see 100 customers walk in for a Wednesday promotion. And it'll build out an entire SOP for this and help you out.
That's awesome. I think I did use this once to write a policy about music in the restaurant.
Yep.
I just wrote down my thoughts and it made it organized and makes sense.
Oh, I've done it with email replies. I'll get somebody email me something and, I'm looking at my reply and I'm like, okay, is this aggressive? Is this right? Am I taking this right, wrong? And I'll do the same thing, paste it. I'll do this exact paragraph. Here's what I need help with. Here's who you are. Ask me a couple questions. Here's my reply. And it's crazy the times it comes back and changes the tone of the email. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't sound like a jackass as much right now. Does that help? Any questions?
That does help. I don't think I have any questions.
Okay. Well, then what I'll do is I'll shoot you an email with the things I went over on here and let me know how it goes.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yep.
Bye. Bye.